to another episode of Experts Eating Cake. I'm your host, Michelle Thomas, and I run the Happy Business Club. And today we have got such a great expert on. I am so excited about this person because she used to live on my vision board and now she's in my life and she's here eating cake with me. So I want to welcome you, the one and only pod queen, the woman who will change your life because she's going to show you the easiest business model in the world. It is Jo Wildsmith.
Hello. Thank you. What a lovely introduction. That was amazing. Thank you. First of all, yes, I'm a real person, not a picture person on, not just a little picture on your vision board.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
and we've met now and everything. So yeah, and I'm so delighted that we have. Now I've got to live up to all that.
That'd be easy. I've seen
That's
what
the
you
easy
did.
bit, right?
I've felt the magic. I have felt the magic. So we're all good. We're coming from a place of experience here. Right.
Splendid.
First things first. Do you have your cake?
Cake has
Are you gonna
arrived.
eat all of it?
It's quite a big one.
Yeah. Are you going to eat all of it?
I haven't had breakfast on purpose so that I can, but I don't think even I could get through that. But I've got a very big knife to go with it, and we'll see, shall we?
Yes, we shall. This episode will go out on a Sunday night, but we are recording it on a Wednesday morning, very rainy Wednesday morning. Jo is having cake for breakfast. I'm having cake for breakfast. Not only that, hang on.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, hang on. You've seen the other T-shirt. I'm making the right balls up of this, aren't I? I'll have to get you one of them.
I should have bought one.
We need to get you one of them. Yeah, so we're eating cake for breakfast, even though when people are watching this on Sunday, maybe it'll inspire them to eat cake as well as set up a business tonight.
Absolutely.
That'd be so cool. So, Jo, we're not going to talk about pod yet. We're going to eat cake first. Right, I've got... So you've got a big, massive chocolate cake, and I have got this. It's not a shortbread. It is actually a blondie, and I got it from my local supermarket, the old Lidl, in the middle of Lidl. And we went there last night, and we picked some, and it looked too good to resist. It's only a little cake. I like the little cakes, actually, because it means that I end up eating all of them. But cheers, big ears. Have you got your cake ready?
I've got my cake ready, and I've got a cake fork, which I don't know where it's come from. So some lovely person, and if anyone who watches this is the person that sent it to me, please tell me. I think it's a cake fork and a spoon. I think
it does look like a cake fork, a little fork.
It hasn't got that wide bit that they normally have. But so I'm going to be all posh for about 5 seconds, and then I'm going to give in and just.
Okay, so cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, it didn't work. Cheers. That's more like it. And then I get chocolatey fingers.
Oh, you lick your fingers.
Oh. Breakfast of pod queens.
Pod queens, yes, and this one as well. Oh, and mine is actually really nice. It's very fudgy. It's very bit fudgy. Blondies supposed to be fudgy. They're not supposed to be like brownies, are they?
I don't know. I've never had a blondie before.
That is nice.
Is it? I like the idea of something a bit softer.
Local Lidl. I can't even remember how much it was. 69p or something like that. Big chocolate chunks in it. Very vanilla. I wonder if it's got white chocolate in there as well. It tastes like it could be. What's yours like?
Wow, what do you think? Can you tell? So this is Tesco's finest. Because sent Sophie out to Tesco's with the get me cake. I need cake for tomorrow. She's like, what?
I think it's a rather nice looking cake. Does it taste nice and moist?
It's nice, it's moist, it's very chocolatey. And the one prerequisite I said was make sure it's got cream all over it. It has no cream all over it. She failed on that score. But I'm quite happy with it. It's lovely. And there might actually be a little bit left.
There might not, though. We never know. We'll see how this chat actually pans out. I've also got my Power of Cake mug. I love this mug. What have you got?
Well, branded and covered.
Branded and covered. So So your branded stuff. So
I nearly used that one.
Oh, you should have done. I don't know where mine is. It's probably in the kitchen.
And I thought I better not use this one because of all the swear words on it.
Oh, yeah, that's the fairy one, is it? that's on the naughty days. That's the one that you use. Not having a naughty day.
Yeah, usually the first word I used.
Right. So, what the heck is pod? You pod queen. What the heck is pod?
Let's make sure I haven't got chocolate in my teeth.
No, don't worry about that.
That's the whole point of cake.
Absolutely.
So what is pod? That's a really, really good question. But what it is not is drop shipping, and what it is also not is podcasting. What pod is print on demand, or in my context anyway, it's print on demand, which means where do I start? Which means you upload a design that you have made on to a specific website. That website is an e-commerce store. So people all around the world see it, buy it, love it. And they make their order, they purchase. And then what happens next? You do nothing. That sounds a bit weird, but you do absolutely nothing because the order goes straight to a fulfillment center where they've got lots of lovely blank products that you haven't had to pay for in advance or buy or anything. And they print it, they ship it out. Your customer's delighted, you receive a royalty. And that is it.
Ta-da!
There's no printing. There's no faffing. There's no packing. There's no running to the post office at 5:25 because it shuts at 5:30, begging them to take that order, take that parcel and post it for you. Somebody else has all that grief, which is brilliant. And one of the brilliant things about it is it's even environmentally friendly because, to an extent, because the printers are usually in the same country or as geographically close to the customer as possible. So if I sell something and somebody in the States buys it, it'll be printed on the whole, not always, it depends on the pod supplier, but it'll be printed, the odds are, it'll be printed in the US and shipped from there. So less freight going back and forth can only be a good thing, right? So
why do you think that everybody should pod? Because I know you do.
I do. And we do workshops, and I work with a lovely lady who does all sales strategy and things like that. And she says, Jo, you need to find your ideal client. And yes, I do believe that.
Aren't we?
Yeah, I do believe that. I do believe you have to find your ideal client. But pod, print on demand, is something that I believe anybody with access to the internet and something to access the internet on can do. So if you've got the internet in whatever form, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, whatever, that's number one ticked. And you've got something to do it on, even one of these things, you can do it.
Jobs are good, and you can make money without
you make an income from it. So my official bio, which I probably should have started with, but hey,
it's good, it's fine.
There was cake and everything else went out the window. So I'm Jo, and I help business owners, entrepreneurs, and hope to be hustlers to create their own merchandise and sell it online with the power and magic of print on demand, which means they don't have to buy inventory, which is the big deal, because that's where I started. And it's expensive and it's terribly wasteful.
Yeah, I have been down that road. I still have the boxes of mug blanks to prove it. Yeah. So I've been down that road. I'm down the pod road now. I very much by accident started pod. I'll tell everybody the little story about how me and you met. It started a long time ago where I had this idea that I was going to do something very similar because I had been in the world of printing mugs myself. I used to do that myself, some motivational mugs, because I love a good word or two and a good slogan. And eventually I thought I'd bring that back in because, who doesn't love a good cake t-shirt kind of thing? This is one of mine. And I I had an intention to do it, but not for a little while because I got a lot of other things going on. And your event, one of your first pods, I think it might be in the second one. You did one,
workshop, the
in-person workshop in Manchester came up, and I thought I'm available that day. I had the money in my bank to pay for it, and it wasn't very expensive either. And oh my God, I get to meet Jo Wildsmith. It was like, you've been in my vision board for such a long time because I already knew this. And I just went in with an open heart. I had no intentions of doing anything. I just wanted to sit there and take it all in, figure out how I was going to do it, and then put a pin in it and leave it for later. Only to find that by the time I left the room, I already had a shop up and running, and it wasn't anything to do with the Happy Business Club. It was all about blooming cake. Totally by accident. So all of a sudden, I'm creating these amazing T-shirts just with things that I like, cake slogans. This one's every day is a cake day. This is my favourite hoodie in the whole wide world. My T-shirt that I've just shown you, I eat cake for breakfast, is one of my favourite. You'll see it on my Instagram. I'm constantly wearing a snazzy jacket, and I eat cake.
Fantastic. You're your best model, definitely.
I really love it. I love it. And there are a few others there as well. There's a Manchester Tart, Crazy Cake Lady, Cake Connoisseur. I've got a million ideas on my spreadsheet that I need to transfer onto the website, but it is as easy as sitting down, putting your design on there, deciding what you want to sell, putting it on the website and letting everybody know that you've got a website and that they can buy these amazing things from you. And I don't have to fork out any money to make money from it. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about it, is because you do it and you just leave it, and every time you get an opportunity to be excited about it, you just tell people what it is, you send them the link, and you share the joy.
Absolutely. And you can keep adding more products, and after the workshop you know how to set up a site. So if now you think, right, okay, I'm happy with my cake one, but I think I'll do one about, give me something random, tulips. Why didn't I get that from? I think I'll do something about tulips now. Let's do something all about tulips, and you can have a completely different site, and it's not going to cost you a penny more. Yes. Because you've already, what you paid for is the learning, is the lesson. So once you know what you're doing, you're free. There are no hosting costs. And the thing is, it feels, particularly people in the UK, it feels too good to be true.
Yeah.
Because nobody gives away a free business, do they? Well, it's not free. We're asking you to pay to come to the workshop. So it's not free, is it?
But the actual business itself.
And once you've paid for that bit, it's like there must be a catch. There has to be a catch.
There are things that you have to remember and that you have to actually look upon. It's not that it's too good to be true. It's just there's things that you have to remember to be able to make the most of it. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So what I want you to do, because you're the expert, Pod Queen, I want you to tell everybody what maybe like the three most important things that they need to know if they're thinking about doing print on demand.
Okay. So the first thing is, I really want people to realize that you do not rip off other people. If you go on and do this and you think, I could make a killing from Coca-Cola stuff, I could do some great T-shirts with Coke is Life, and just really go for it with the whole logo, the color scheme and everything. Do not do that. Mm-hmm. Please do not do that. I would never advocate anybody does anything like that. This is ripping off people's intellectual property, and you will get done. The very least that will happen is that your listings will be taken down. The very worst is that you will be sued. So please don't do it. Please create your own designs. That is really important. So that is number one. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use elements from places like Canva, Creative Fabrica, that kind of thing. You do not have to be an artist. And that leads me into my second one. Do not think, but I was rubbish at art at school. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm rubbish at art. Absolutely appalling. I'd love to be. I'm left-handed. I'm supposed to be good at it. But I'm supposed to be a lot of things that I am not.
Yeah.
So what I can do, though, is notice, because we can all notice things, a catchy slogan. I can notice something that's a bit funny. I can go on Creative Fabrica or or other design bundles, free SVG, any of these places, and download stuff that has pod rights to use and just put it on. It doesn't matter. It's all there and all available. Licensing, relating to both of those things, licensing is important though. So always make sure you're allowed to use it on pod.
Yes.
But
that's a lot of stuff that you'll teach in your work.
I just don't want people to think that you can just take something like randomly like this at Apple and start designing things with it. That's not.
Yeah, they will not let you do that. If they find out, they're going to get you.
It'll cost you in the end, definitely. And the third thing I want to say is, once those designs are on, they're there in perpetuity unless you take them off. So you stick them on, you go off and have a cup of tea and a slice of cake. Somebody might buy it then, they might buy it in 6 months. I'm still making royalties on things that I put on 10 years ago.
There you go.
It's like, what? I got a notification from Amazon today saying, oh, your royalties are coming in. Okay.
And you're like,
Yeah, it's all right. I don't want them this month. It's fine. You keep them. You've got enough. You've got enough. I've got enough. You have it, Jeff. No.
So there's lots of things to really focus on. If it's something that you want to do, intellectual property is a thing, and it's something that you need to really know about.
Don't worry though, because I am so fastidious about it, and it's so important that I make sure we cover it. And I don't want to scare you by saying that, but I want to make sure you do it right.
Yes, absolutely. Also, you don't necessarily have to be creative or feel like a creative person to be able to create things and create products. You just need to be inspired. And the third thing is, it is amazing that you do it once, and it's always going to be there unless you take it down. And it could potentially still bring you income. Yeah.
And it could suddenly go viral as well. You could have it on there 3 years, and then suddenly something you've put on there, like, let's go back to the tulips. Suddenly tulips are everywhere and it's become a craze. And then suddenly your little thing that's been out there, because it's been out there a long time, Google finds it easier. And it's like, hello.
Where's all this money coming from?
Look at that mug, right? I can't even remember where this mug came from. But I try and drink out of it every morning to try and make myself feel a little less horrific. But
I used to do that all the time. I had a range of mugs with different slogans, with different feelings.
How simple is that? That's all that says is "Good morning, beautiful" on it. I didn't buy it. Someone either bought it for me. Well, they must have done because I didn't buy it. It wasn't born here. So somebody has spent money on this mug, and all it says is "Good morning, beautiful."
Fabulous.
Yeah. Oh. Through my dress everywhere.
Power of cake, and this brings me joy every single day of the week.
But that's got artwork on it, so people have thought about that more. That literally just says "Good morning, beautiful." I mean, anybody can think of that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's good for branding as well. So if you're already an existing business, I think that's not something that we've touched on yet, but I'm sure you go into that a little bit more detail, is that if you have an existing business, potentially, there you go. And that's why you call branded and covered. You know, it's a lot of it's about branding and making sure that when you're representing yourself, and you allow other people who are in your world to represent you as well. And you make money from it. It's great. And the world's your oyster, and you can be really inventive about what you put your little mug shot on.
Absolutely, because it's not just mugs. It's not just mugs. It's not just tote bags. It's teddy bears. It's all sorts of random things. Duvet covers, wallpaper.
Yeah,
just
getting spared with a big cake on the front. I end up eating a duvet in the middle of the night. All right, so going on from that, because it's straightforward, it's simple, it's one of the easiest ways to actually create revenue in your business, or if you're just somebody that wants to create another revenue stream, it really is that simple. But there are some common misconceptions. There are a lot of things that people think that podding is or it isn't, or, you know, the things that they've been told about, but not entirely true. So we want to hear it from the horse's mouth. What are these misconceptions and what is the reality and the truth of it?
I do not want people to think that pod is a passive income stream. I get very haughty about the whole passive income stream nonsense. Nothing is passive. Nothing. And I'm sorry to burst any bubbles there, but nothing is passive. You always have to either invest in something, whether it's either invest in something financially or invest your time in something. And even if, in fact, there is one thing. Did you ever watch that thing about people who inherit things where they don't know they've got relatives?
Oh, yeah. I know what I mean.
On the telly in the mornings, right? Why did we watch it? Because Homes Under the Hammer wasn't on, right?
And it's always on.
Or it was just before or something like that. Or just after, and you'd get stuck in the zone. But ancestor, inheritance, anyway, whatever.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So that, Air Hunters, that was it. So that is the only thing I can think of that's truly passive. Mm-hmm. Because if it's a relative you know that, or a friend or something that's left you money, you have to actually have that relationship with them. So even that is doing something. Yeah. So it's only the unknown relatives that you didn't even know existed who leave you money. That is the only passive income I can think of.
Yeah, I think it's more along the lines of leveraged income. I mean, the amount of effort that you put in, the amount of energy
absolutely. In fact, even then, you have to open the door or answer the phone to the Air Hunters, right? But I call.
Talking your way out of this one, aren't you?
But even then, so not even then. So what I do and what Print on Demand is an almost completely passive income stream. So I call it an ACPIS. And you'll often hear me talk about your ACPIS because it's an almost completely passive income stream. You do the bit at the front and then you do nothing and you'll still get sales. You can do more if you want to. As you say, you can share on social media. You can run ads if you want to, and Facebook ads or Amazon ads if your products are on there. But that's extra. You don't have to do that. Yes, that will attract more sales. Of course it will. But really, once you've stuck that design on there, put it on the products you want it to go on and put it in the position you want it to go on. And that's it.
Yeah, and there's no extra time or energy or effort involved in it beyond that. That's what you put in. Everything else is like not dependent on anymore, unless of course you're talking about pushing it through marketing.
Or you want to add more products, or you feel like changing it. Maybe you put a product on and then people have been buying it, and then someone contacted you and said, "You spelt Christmas with a K," and then better go and change that. That sort of thing. Yes, of course. So we shouldn't call it passive. We should call it maintenance free, perhaps, or something. ACPIS. I do love an ACPIS.
No, that's just word of the day.
I might trademark my ACPIS.
I don't think anybody else will want it, if I'm being honest.
Well, the way trademarks are these days, people trademark so much stuff, and it drives me nuts because I'll be putting things on and I'll think, I'll just run a quick trademark check. And it's like, if you, I'm like, how can you trademark if you? And how can I avoid using if you? So you end up sort of having to use a little bit of common sense with all this, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So any other misconceptions that people think this is what it is, and it absolutely is?
People think it's drop shipping. And yes, there are elements of it that's the same in that it's an ACPIS, as drop shipping is. But with drop shipping, you have to have an investment. You have to have the stuff sitting in a warehouse or an arrangement with somebody like Alibaba or something, or Amazon, for example, Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. And that's great, but that's not what this is.
Yeah.
With this, there is none of that. With this, it's purely the warehouses have got all the stuff. It's the same stuff for everybody. And so if you're on a Redbubble site like Print on Demand, a print-on-demand site like Redbubble, got back to front, it's the cake. It's the chocolate. I'm not used to chocolate.
It's gone straight to your head, has it?
Yeah, I'm chocolate drunk. So
that can go in a mug or a t-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely, chocolate delirious. So if you're on something like Redbubble, they have sites all over the world. It's a print-on-demand platform. They have over 100 products, and they've got sites all over the world. You put the design on once, and it goes bing, 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 bing on all the products, right?
Yeah.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
Yes.
But there's no way you can put in your listing, my hoodie is superior quality compared to the other person on Redbubbles, because they're using the same blank hoodie. Yeah. So you can't say that, you know. If you're doing it on your own website, you usually have a bit more choice. So you've got like high-end hoodies, you've got your budget hoodies, and you've got your stuff in the middle. And so you can pick which one you use, and then you can say this is a really good quality hoodie, and make sure your prices reflect that. But the only thing that's different on something like Redbubble is the design.
Yes.
So you make sure your keywords and everything that you're doing to make sure it gets found is related to the design. It's no good me going on saying this mug is brilliant, a lovely white ceramic mug. It holds 11 ounces, I think. It's got a handle so you can drink out of it. You can drink from this side here or there. It's wonderful.
I know what a mug is.
Every mug does that. Yeah, exactly.
What a mug is.
So the unique bit is this bit and the lipstick that comes free. So yeah.
The shimmer and the shimmer.
Yeah, and you do. I think it is actually, and you do have to do that. Probably.
Oh wait, the original from the 80s.
Either that, or what was the pink one that had a purple tint?
I don't know, but that was going out lipstick, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not drop shipping.
It's not drop shipping. It's not drop shipping, but there are elements of it that are similar, and I can understand why people think that's the mistake.
Yeah. We've got Acpiss as well, almost completely passive income.
There's the Acpiss. There's the Acpiss. The other thing I really want to dispel is I don't want people to spend their hard-earned money on our workshops, or I've got a membership too, on the membership either. I don't want them to spend their money thinking that for whatever they're paying, depending on which workshop it is, that for that money, they're going to go out and make 6 figures this year. They could do, and I'm not saying they couldn't, because things do go viral. But I'm not guaranteeing that, because that is unfair and it is not true. Mm-hmm. It's not true. Sometimes your product sales can be a slow burn. Sometimes they can happen like that.
Yeah.
Only that one works.
Yeah.
That one doesn't do anything.
I think the element of control that you have in it is how much you put it out into the world. You're speaking to the kind of people that love what you do, and that, you know, if, like, for example, me with the cake, when I'm speaking to people about cake, if I tell them I have t-shirts, they know, and they have an opportunity to actually buy them if they want to. I mean, who doesn't want a cake, a t-shirt that says I eat cake for breakfast? You know,
this is where you're niching. That's right. And this is where you're niching in your audience, finding out your ideal audience and everything. That's where it's important.
Yeah.
So everything Nicola talks about in our workshops, that is where it's really important, making sure that you're speaking to the people who also love cake.
Yes.
Or yellow.
I know lots of people that love cake. I do. I know lots. I mean, we've recorded quite a few of these episodes, and I can't think of anybody that's turned up and didn't love cake. That's probably because I won't let them come on unless they actually love cake.
I know.
The only person that didn't bring cake is not because she didn't love cake. It's because she loved cake so much. She ate the cake. She didn't have a backup cake, so she had to bring her backup chocolate.
Backup cake. Oh, I think you need to send a warning out saying, please have backup cake.
I think that's not a good idea. I shall pop that in the messages.
I think you need that break glass cake. You need a bit of break. Mind you don't want glass in cake, but like a little box with a seriously available cake.
Or maybe a little bit of practicing, a little bit of self-control. That would be very useful. I can teach people how to practice self-control. Like, sit, stay, no cake.
Or just do like me and buy a massive cake. Or so you
but then that gets eaten, and then you feel really disgusted.
Ooh, grown.
Oh, I've had 3 cakes in a day before now.
Wow.
But that's because I had 3 interviews, not because I just sat there and ate 3 cakes one after the other. I'm a greedy little so-and-so for cakes, but I'm not that greedy.
So I have a question for you. What if you had 3 interviews set up, and the middle one with 3 cakes already, and the middle one 5 minutes before said, I've had an emergency come up, I can't do the recording today. Would you still eat the cake? Would you eat the cake to console yourself, the fact that you're not going to be chatting to this person? Or would you say, right, okay, I don't need that one then?
I wouldn't eat it for emotional reasons, because I try to keep myself out of that feeding the feelings. So this is getting quite deep now, isn't it? I would probably, one of the things that I quite like to do is share my cake with my other cake monster in the house. So I like to see the joy in his face when he knows that he's going to have a piece of cake. And it's not just mummy that gets all the fun. So I'd probably give it to him. I'll leave it for him. But what would probably happen is if he was at school and I didn't eat that cake and I put it in the fridge and I remembered about it before he came home, that cake probably wouldn't be there by the time he comes. I was trying to think myself through the process of what potentially could happen. So, it all depends on how I feel that day. It all depends on how big the other cakes were. It all depends on how much of a sweet tooth I have that day. And it all depends on whether I'm busy or whether I think about cake. I talk about cake.
There are a lot of parameters involved with cake eating.
Yeah, there really, really is, more than I ever thought possible. Do you know, one of the things that I think I might be a little bit addicted, because you have a little scroll in the morning and I have a look on Facebook and they always come up with little reels for you to watch. Literally every single last one of them is cake related. What does that say about me? I'm sure that Facebook listens to me saying cake all the time, so it thinks that cake is the thing that I want to watch, and they're not wrong, but it makes me a little bit
scary, isn't it, when you've been talking about something and you haven't been online, and then you go on Facebook and it pings up with it, and I'm like, were you listening to me? I don't like this.
It does happen. But I do not have anything to hide. I proudly proclaim that I eat cake for breakfast, so I don't have anything to hide, and I am eating cake for breakfast.
You're no cake fake.
Let's get back to pod, though. Enough talk about it. We do a lot of this already.
But we could put all of this on T-shirts. I mean, you could have check boxes going down one side of saying things like, did my friend turn up to eat cake with me? Yes, no. And you can imagine the whole thing.
Right. Golden nugget time. I want you to tell me if you had one piece of advice for people who are listening. So it tends to be heart-led small business owners, so people in my world who like a bit of fun, like a bit of laughter, don't take themselves too seriously, but are serious when it comes to business, because they are purpose-driven, heart-led, and they are going to be changing the freaking world. So those are the people we're speaking to now. Okay. What is the one piece of advice that you would give with regards to what it is that you do?
Get started. Get started. As soon as those products are on, as soon as you've made those uploads, the world can buy them. Just do it. You can go back and tweak it later if you want to, but just do it. Just get them on. There's no reason. So, for example, with you came, it was just before Christmas.
Yeah.
And we rushed doing that one. We wanted it on there just ready for Christmas so that you could get designs on in time for people to get the stuff for Christmas. Because we could have waited. You could have waited till April or something. Well, you couldn't, because we're doing one in April. But you could have waited till this March one that's coming. And that would have been absolutely fine. But you'd have missed 4 months of having your products available. And it's also, as well as people actually seeing them and buying them, all the time the search engines are doing their thing. So all the time you're getting closer to the top of Google, getting on that first page, that coveted first page. So get it done. Get started.
And I think part of the really good thing about it is if it's branding and you're already spending a lot of time going out there and, you know, making your mark on the world and, you know, working on social media, putting out content and things like that, it all feeds into that anyway. And if you've got something at the end of it, which is a little link that people can click on because they like what you do and they want to know more about what you do, you click on that link and all of a sudden you can buy into that. How blooming exciting is that?
And this, right? This is a goodie bag. This is what you call a goodie bag. This is a bag full of goodies. It's actually, good qualities, like the mug.
I love it. This is my favorite. This is my favorite thing out of that goodie bag, and I use it all the time. Yes, love it.
So give the people things they're going to use. Yes. They are not going to forget you if you give them quality stuff. And if you end up having to add the price onto your ticket, if it's a paid event, do that to give them a proper goodie bag, not some piece of tap that you got 50 paper bags for 50p or whatever. You can, but you won't get the return from it. You won't get that visibility. I mean, I got one the other day, and you know how people get those paper bags and they bung a sticker on it and bung leaflets in it and stuff.
I like those as well. I've got, to be fair, I like those as well. I do.
But the sticker was on upside down. Now I'm sitting there receiving that, and I think you couldn't give a monkeys about me.
No,
because the stickers on it, they didn't even bother putting the sticker on straight. So the man alive.
Oh, it's probably the 6-year-old that got a job of putting the stickers on. I bet you anything, because that's something that I would do. I'd probably, if I was going to do any kind of sticker
so
work.
So now we're promoting child labour.
I wouldn't pay him. It's not labour, it's love, isn't it? Yeah. I wouldn't pay him.
Board and lodging.
Roblox every now and again. That's what he gets. They had fun call pop. We'll leave it at that, and he gets the leftover cake.
Oh yeah, well that's always a benefit of what you do, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll work for cake. There you go. I'm writing it down.
Yeah. So you can do it either as a completely separate income stream in something that's just a hobby, or something that's separate to what your main business is, like you did with your cake, or you can do both, or you can link it to your own website. So you have a button on your website, so you just press shop and it goes into your shop, and you could have branded stuff. Realistically, how many people are going to want to buy a shop with my company's name on? They're not really going to want to. Somebody in Timbuktu is not going to look at that and go, "It's been missing all my life."
No.
Whereas that, simple as it is, much more likely. So make your products serve your audience.
Yes.
As you say. But yeah, I started Branded and Covered. It's why it's called Branded and Covered, doing branded stuff for people.
There you go.
I was a sales rep, and I had osteoarthritis and had to have both my hips replaced. So suddenly I couldn't drive 40,000 miles anymore. So then I thought, I was at home and I thought, right, what can I do?
And you did it. This is the thing. You started. You went and did it, and then you did it some more, and now you're teaching people. I want you actually to tell people who are watching how they can get to do this, how they can actually spend some time with a beautiful.
Okay, so don't do what I did
with a shop.
Come out with a shop. Do not do what I did, which was try and do it. You can if you want, because it's a bit of fun, but it's expensive and it's hard work. What I did was I bought myself a Cricut machine, bought myself loads of vinyl, bought myself 4 heat presses and a sublimation machine and a sublimation printer. And I spent all day trying to sell the stuff and all night trying to make the stuff. There was no time for sleep. So it did not work. Yeah, it did not work. There's an easier way, and that is the ACPIS way. So...
Sorry.
Every time I say it, she laughs. It's brilliant. So, oh God, I'm killed.
Sorry.
I broken our lady. I've broken our cake lady. So, so there are two ways that I'm doing this, right? It's about time I had another bite. Just saying. There are two ways. It's winking at me. Two ways I'm doing this. One is I have Pod for Profit, which is a paid membership group. And in Pod for Profit, we cover everything pod related, including books on Amazon KDP, including your platforms like Redbubble, including things like Amazon, and also including having your own website, your own merch store. Which takes me to the other thing. The other thing is Pod 123, which are live workshops that we do.
Yeah, really
so
good.
Pod 123. Oh, it's brilliant. So Pod for Profit is just little old me extolling the virtues and helping people with their print on demand of all sorts. It's very wide. It's like a library of information. Pod 123 is very focused on having your own web store, your own online merchandise store. That is in-person workshops and online workshops now as well. And those workshops, I mean, it's a party atmosphere. We keep them small on purpose.
You brought cake specially for me. I remember that. I did not forget that.
Yeah, I had to. It's a party atmosphere and it's small groups, and we are deliberately keeping them small groups because there's three of us, right? So one of us is at the front talking to you, showing you how to do stuff. The other two are going around the tables and making sure nobody gets left behind. This is why Michelle could not leave that room. We wouldn't let her leave that room without a shop. So, yes. And the dynamic, I have to say, in the online ones are a bit different because we're presenting it on Zoom and then people go away, you know, they watch the whole thing and then they go away and do it afterwards. But everybody gets those recordings, even the people who've done the in-person events as well. So, yeah, so then you can recap. But those in-person events, I love them. We were walking on air, weren't we?
Well, we left there, went to the pub afterwards, and we were telling each other all amazing stories, and just I didn't want to leave. In all honesty, I didn't want to leave. It was such a great atmosphere. What I wanted to ask you is, I mean, this is affordable. What is the price of attending a workshop?
Well, currently it is, because you know we were trying this out. So from May onwards, it's going to go up. Well, from June onwards, it's going to go up. But currently, in-person workshops are £123. Can you see what we did there?
Yes, I can see what you did there.
It's called Pod 123. Hello.
And when the price goes up, what price are we looking at then?
It's gonna at least double. We're sort of trying to work out whether to do 246 because it's two Pod 123s, or 295, which is probably what it's worth. But we sort of like we quite like the idea.
The branding,
we can't help it. We're all in that sort of build, aren't we? So 123 at the moment, 123. That's for the in-person, and it does include lunch. So it's a full day. We start around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we go through till about 4. And then if you want to come to the pub with us, please do. And usually the first round's on us, but don't hold me to that because we must get more sensible. But it's amazing. You are getting for £123 a business in a box, basically.
Yeah.
Online.
There's three of you. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of you in the room, and you're all experts in your field. Explain to us what each of you do, because I will.
Before I forget, though, I'll just say that the online one is currently £49, and that is then going to go up to £99. Just because I know I'll forget.
All right.
Because we haven't had quite enough cake.
Down in the description. So if you look in the description, all the links will be there for Jo and for her workshops, so that you can literally click through, get in touch with her, or click through and actually book yourself on. So just hit the subscribe button so you don't miss these things, because we've got loads of guests coming on with all these amazing things going on. So you need to have these kind of things in your life. So go on.
So who is who? So there's me, obviously, pod queen, woman that does this. Then that's what I do. And then there's Marie. Marie Walker owns a print facility. She owns the fulfillment center, and she also has the software that helps you, what gives you the mechanics of what you need to be able to get your stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not talking about Redbubble here. We're not talking about Amazon. We are talking purely about having your own online store. So what Marie does is she tells you exactly how to do it. She shows you how to set up a store. She shows you how to make it look pretty and make it look how you want it to look. And she shows you, most importantly, how to put products on.
And she makes you do it. She makes you do it.
Yeah, we're all scared of Marie. So yeah, there's no hiding. It's actually a nice environment. It sounds like we've been...
Yeah, no, it's always going to be scary, because if it's something that you've never done before and it's something new and you're putting yourself out into the world, there's that little bit of but you're not going to be in the room if it's not something that you don't want to do. And having three fabulous people who absolutely know what they're doing take you through it bit by bit, step by step, so that at the end of it you come out of it with exactly what you want, it makes it that much easier. It is hard to actually do it yourself. You feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall, and like a lot of people, once it starts getting hard, you say, sod this, I'm off.
That's the other thing with it being a small group.
Yeah.
There's never any silly questions. If somebody's stuck on one thing, being in the room with us, we can put you right straight away, instead of going down that rabbit hole, getting lost, going off on a tangent, giving up, all of that. So that's brilliant. And a question that you were thinking, oh, I wonder, somebody else will ask, because it's a small group and it's friendly, and there's no sort of like, none of that. It's not a massive conference hall. Anyway, so third person, third corner of our triangle is Nicola Toner. And Nicola Toner, and Marie lives in Belfast, by the way. Everything's out in Belfast. Nicola Toner lives out in Spain, and she is a marketing and see, I couldn't do this for a living. I can't say it. In marketing strategy, whiz kid. She knows all about the niching, putting it in front of the right people, and all of that. Using the right word. That's her. So she gives you everything you need to get out there and make your sales.
It's the top package.
It's a triple threat.
Triple threat, total package, triple whammy. You get everything that you absolutely need. Very much a business in the box. I honestly recommend it. It is so much fun, not just the workshop, but the opportunity to actually get your thoughts onto products and get it out into the world, become more visible, not necessarily by putting your face on things, but by putting things out into the world that people would want and enjoy, and makes them happy. And all that kind of things, because generally we buy this stuff because it does make us happy. I mean, there's nothing makes me happier than wearing my I Cake for Breakfast t-shirt or my hoodie because it's cold. See my hoodie? Yeah. Every day is a cake day. Yeah, never a true word spoken.
And was there any coding? No, there wasn't. There's none of that. It's not. I am a woman in my mid-50s, clearly, because the way my brain jumps around. But this is not. We are not teaching you how to become a coder, become a computer programmer. This is not what this is. This is not what it is. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise you.
Put some words in, put some pretty pictures in, decide what you want, pop it on, press the button, done. Done. I make it sound easy. It was slightly harder than that. But that's pretty much what it was. There was nothing more taxing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do get stuck, there's people to ask. And not only, what we've done is, because we were very aware that people might want ongoing support, so now we've created an academy so people then can go in there and get ongoing support. Because sometimes it's a day, and sometimes you'll be listening to everything and something might get missed. Something we might not say, but we should do, because we know what we're doing. But also something that you maybe thought afterwards and thought, oh, so this is a place, a special place where nobody is going to see you and go, well, they should blooming know that. None of that nonsense.
No. Thank you so much for that. I am. It's given me another fire up my bum to actually go ahead and get some more of my epic ideas back onto the. Because I've not done that many recently. I've been busy eating the cake rather than creating the t-shirts. But I'm going to be going back and doing a few more.
the ones you did are already live. So
Yes.
you can have a break from it. Absolutely. You can have a break from it. You can go back to it. You can just stick it out there and let it happen.
And that's exactly what I've done. That's exactly what I've done. Fortunately, my cake was so small, I've actually eaten it. So
would you like
a
bit of mine? Do you want some of this one?
Give me a bit of yours.
Would you?
I like chocolate cake. I can imagine eating chocolate cake. I know what it tastes
a little bit of that white. Oh, I said a little bit, but nothing.
Go on, now I'm going to ask you to tell us something. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you just to let us into the little secret that you have, the little saucy secret about how you got onto this whole. You told us how it generally started, but there is a little secret that you've been keeping. This a little something that's been making you. That's so freaking cheeky.
So first secret is this. I want to tell you this chair is squeaking, not me, right? So if the microphone picked that up, I just want everyone to know that. I know I said I'm in my mid-50s, but there are some things I can still control. Anyway, so yes, how I got to do this. Well, I had a divorce and it was pretty horrible. And I was also suffering from this hip pain to do with having to have the operations and things. But this was way before the operations, actually, where I was just starting to feel like the world was ending. Lost my relationship, got 3 extremely young children at home. I had 3 children in 2 years, twins and then another one. And it was all quite overwhelming. And I started to suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome. So I needed, apart from my kids, a bit of light in my life. So I thought I did 3 things. I went on an 80s weekend with my mates, which was brilliant. And I've gone every year since. Pretty much 15 times. I started pole dancing lessons and I started writing adult short stories.
By adult, you mean not just for people over 18, but
exactly,
a little bit.
So I started writing these, and this was before I'd ever even heard of print on demand. I was putting them on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, on Amazon KDP, selling them as short stories, as ebooks, first of all. And my market was the American housewife. So I was doing American spellings where you miss the U out.
Yep.
American housewives who drop the kids off on the yellow bus, and then they come home, do a little light dusting, and then have a little bit of a read. So these were my market. And then I discovered that I could mix it up and I could just change a few words and then sell it to different markets. So the gay market and lesbian and all sorts of things, right? So it went, suddenly I was writing one book and got five stories out of it. Wow. So that's 5 listings I could do, and I had them all under different author names and everything. Hello, this is easy. This is great. And then I realized there was a new button that came up on Amazon KDP where you could do a paperback. Because when I was first doing it, paperbacks weren't even available. So I could do a paperback. Now, it has to be a minimum of 24 pages, and my books were about between 5,000 and 7,000 words. So they weren't really long enough. So I'd string a few together and do a bundle and make them into a paperback. Right. And what happens when someone buys that paperback with any of these Amazon books is they're not sitting on the shelves waiting. They have blank paper, funnily enough, and they print it on demand. They print it when an order is made, wherever, at their nearest fulfillment center. This sounds familiar, doesn't it? And so they print it and they ship it out, which is why when you buy an Amazon KDP book that's being fulfilled by KDP, it takes 2 days, even on Prime, because they have to do 1 day to print it and then the next day to get it to you. So, hello, I'm doing print on demand and don't even know I'm doing it.
What? And the saucy, racy books.
And they're saucy, racy, naughty books, and I look like butter wouldn't melt. But I tell you what, it got me through my divorce. It cheered me up. I had a great laugh. And no, I am not saying that they're all from experience. Some of them would have imagination.
I promise. We all want to go and find it and read it, knowing that we know all these little secrets of yours. And one of the most important things, which everybody wants to hear, is did you make any money?
Yes, I did. One of them went crazy in Australia, and then Amazon seemed to notice it a bit because it was selling so well, and they decided that it was a little bit too raunchy, and then they pulled it.
Oh, that's a shame. And do you still get money coming in from it?
Still,
Bits
even
and
now.
bobs. And something that you did.
Even now, that notification I got this morning, that was from KTP.
Fabulous.
10 years later.
10 years later. And she's
and I read it now and I cringe.
What was
I
that?
read it now and I cringe because I think, oh God, did I really write that? But it doesn't matter. And I'm not going to take them off, as it were. I'm not going to take them off there because they're still making me money. And it's not like they're raising my profile. I can be totally anonymous doing that. Mm-hmm. They're all different. As I say, they're all under different pen names that are all a bit too risque to list here.
We'll leave that one for another day.
Yeah, because I was using the pen names as keywords, basically, which is very naughty.
Fabulous. See, this woman is full of great ideas. I know that she's full of great ideas because she literally turns every single word that I ever say into a
mug.
Slogan. We're having that one. We're putting it on a mug. We're putting it on a t-shirt. It's absolutely brilliant. And that's what you'll get as well. I mean, even if you go in with no ideas, Joe will soon fire you up with quite a few of them if you attend one of the pod workshops.
Everybody has an imagination. Everybody. The exercise I get people to do, I've got 2 exercises in my arsenal, and this is one of them, is imagine your front door. Think about what does your front door look like? What colour is your front door, Michelle?
It's like a stony, weird, horrible colour.
Where did you go in your mind when you thought about your front door? You pictured it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's your imagination working. So nobody can tell me they haven't got enough imagination for this.
I never told you that.
No, I know you didn't, but
but I know some people really think that.
Yeah, people say, I just can't think of anything, and I'm like, yeah, there's lots of things, and you don't have to stick with one thing.
Yeah.
You're
giving away all your blooming secrets now. You'll have nothing left for the pod workshop.
Oh, there is a lot more I can tell you.
There's lots going on. There's lots going on.
It's the how to. I can tell you how to. That's what matters.
Thank you so much, Joe, for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm jealous of you because you still have cake left and you've got an amazing cake fork, and I don't have any cake. But I am going off to see Wonka this afternoon with my little lad.
Oh, wow.
Good old time then as well.
Oh,
thank you so much for coming on. I absolutely love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for not being on my vision board anymore and just being on my world. That was the amazing Jo Wildsmith. I flipping love that woman. I always get my best mates on here now. She's my best mate now. She's my best mate today anyway, because she's been eating cake with me. If you want to check out her pod workshop, and I promise you it is a great time. And the fact that you actually come out with a business or a potential business is absolutely fantastic. The price is going to be going up really soon. So if you want to do this and it's been on your vision board and it's been something that you wanted to do, get over it as soon as possible, because you don't just get one person, you don't just get Joe, you actually get 3 experts in the room doing different parts of this business in a box idea in terms of print on demand. So much so that I created Cake is Life. I'm going to drop the link below. If you like my hoodie, this is Every Day is a Cake Day. We've got some other ones in there as well. Or if you want one of my t-shirts, which is I Eat Cake for Breakfast, it is my favourite t-shirt of all time, I think. I think it even surpasses It's All Good, which is not one of my t-shirts, but I picked that up in a shop because I thought it was absolutely funky. I like a good slogan as well, and I like to put them on t-shirts. So hopefully you'll find something on there that tickles your pickle. And all you need to do is drop on the link below, click on it, go and have a look, see what's on offer, and be one of our cake gang. I'm thinking of mukbang here. Never mind. I'm getting all confused now. I'm going to go now. I'll see you later.